Elif's Adventures.
The Rug.
Author Zeliha Sekmenoğlu.
One morning, Elif woke up to the sounds of chaos in the house. She wasn't too thrilled about it. Her mother called out, "Wake up, my girl. We're doing a big cleaning today. The rugs are coming up, and breakfast is waiting. Let's get moving." It was time for the annual summer cleaning, a day of serious scrubbing and tidying. Everyone had their part to play, and the chores went smoothly. After breakfast, Elif's mom dragged all the rugs into the yard and gave them a good wash, one by one. She set the biggest and oldest rug aside. The curtains were taken down, washed, and hung back up sparkling clean. The whole house was swept top to bottom, and once the rugs dried, they were rolled back into place. With a final touch, the house gleamed, and the cleaning marathon was officially over. Throughout the busy day, Elif had the time of her life. She splashed in the water, got soaked repeatedly, and went through more outfit changes than a pop star on stage. But there was one thing left unresolved: the big, worn-out rug sitting awkwardly in the middle of the yard. That's when their neighbour, Mrs. Emily, a friendly farmer, popped by and noticed the abandoned rug. "What are you going to do with that?" she asked, pointing at the rug. After a quick discussion, they decided to give it to Mrs. Emily to use in her fields. But moving the rug to her house was easier said than done. The rescue mission began with Mrs. Emily holding one end, Elif's older sister gripping the middle, and her mum grabbing the other end. As they shuffled along, the three women huffed and puffed, muttering, "This thing's as heavy as a dead donkey." Elif, of course, couldn't let this moment pass without some theatrics. Trailing a few steps behind them, she clasped her hands in front of her and began chanting loudly, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. There is no God but Allah, and Allah is the greatest. O Lord Almighty, rest its poor, worn-out soul. There is no rug like this rug, and truly, it was the greatest," reciting phrases traditionally said after someone passes away. Her serious expression and slow, deliberate steps made her look like a tiny imam leading a procession. Ignoring her mother's attempts to hush her, Elif took it up a notch. With a booming voice, she announced, "Attention, everyone. We are here today to bid farewell to our beloved rug, who has sadly passed away. Its funeral is now departing from our yard to Mrs. Emmons' home. May it rest in peace. Attention, everyone. We are here today to bid farewell to our beloved rug, who has sadly passed away. Its funeral is now departing from our yard to Mrs. Emmons' home. May it rest in peace." The poor women carrying the rug could hardly bear the embarrassment. Peering neighbours peeked from their windows, stifling laughter as the funeral passed by. When they finally reached Mrs. Emily's yard, the women heaved the rug to the ground, exhausted. But Elif's antics hadn't gone unnoticed. Her mother, cheeks red with frustration, whipped off her slipper and flung it in Elif's direction. Luckily for Elif, she was already halfway down the street, giggling and well out of slipper range. And so the rug found a new home, and Elif ended the day with another mischievous tale to add to her growing collection.